Hey everyone, welcome back to 3D6 Down the Line. This is episode 77 of our Halls of Arden Vul Megadungeon crawl by Richard Barton using the old school essential system by Necrotic Gnome. My name is John, I'm the referee for the evening, and tonight we have another dynamic duo episode. Who do we have?
Hi, I'm David, and I'll play Upior Velez, the level 4 magic user.
Hi, everybody. I'm Ted, and I'll be playing Mortis J. Gabliono, who I believe will be leveling up this session here. So I'm very excited about that.
If he survives back to the safe haven.
Well,
always
minor detail.
So we are the victims of another summer absence. Mike and Matt are both dead to us tonight. So we are going to be picking up in media res once again. They are in the bedchamber of the Witch Queen Dano, the absolute ruler of the Beastmen contingent. A woman who is not only strange, but also markedly different than the attitudes of the Beastmen themselves, who are very imperial in their nature, and she seems to be much more of an enchantress of the Robert Howard type. So she's very weird, got a lot of weird things going on, and you are in the room right now. It's the 10th of Gelenius. It's about noon by the time you sort of finish up talking to her in general in the chamber. And we have Mort, Upior, Gangrene, and Elizabeth who is in the room right now. So, and also there's Count Scleros is also there as well, in addition to a whole bunch of living and possibly dead things as well. So let's not forget that the entire chamber, which is dominated by her large bed, filled with carpets of all sorts, very snug in here, but there are numerous animals wandering around, actual animals, pigs and goats and rats and sheep and dogs and all that sort of stuff wandering around. In addition, there are naked male slaves, greased up, ready for Dano's pleasure in any moment. And then lining the walls, which I feel like I didn't really emphasize, but it's probably the most disturbing aspect, are the mummified remains of 25 human beings dressed in archaic armor and festooned with colorful silk ribbons, and they are all like lined up, standing up, like around the entire chamber. Okay, there is also a large trestle table in the middle, which is filled with a whole bunch of lovely, yummy food, and there is a large armoire as well on the eastern wall, which is just north of the double doors that you guys came in through. There's a small door that leads to the west as well, is what you're seeing right now. So you had just finished up your talk with her. She had given you a bunch of... you sealed your deal with the Beastmen, which is fantastic. That's the biggest thing. She has claimed that she wants to do, basically hold a meeting between the two factions, as many as people can attend, on the 14th of Gelenius in the newly seeded Great Hall, a place of neutrality where those two factions can meet now. No more fighting over it. And she gave you the addresses to 3 teleportation circles. One called the Palace Sitting Room, one is in an administrative basement, and one is in the Hall of Seeing, all of which sort of you recognize or have an intimation of what those might be. And she has agreed to the Goblin King's terms, so you're going to divest the guard outpost in the Great Hall. And let's see, she needs people to bring the golden mead, the syrupy golden mead, which you guys refuse to drink, to Thagan Whitemane, who is apparently the innkeeper of the Inn of the Lost, who she calls that dear old man. She doesn't have the people to actually spare for that right now because a lot of the LRCP, the Long Range Cavern Patrol, is out on missions right now, including their leader, the mighty Taltos the Natty, is out with them right now. There's also a missing bandon of the LRCP that they're also hunting for. So their resources are a little bit tight right now. And she's still looking for cloud-cap mushrooms in volume, if you can bring those to her, as you kind of look warily over at the bubbling heat sourceless tripods that are bubbling away. And interested in finding out where the remains of Gennadius and Rex are. and that she would love any intel that you might have on the movements of the cult of Set on this level and what their motivations might be, because she is wary of them. So yeah, that's what you're basically looking at right now. So so your inner presence, what would you like to do?
Well, first of all, John, I feel that I need to call you out for calling them beastmen. They are the children of Dano.
This is true.
Oh, oof.
Very-
John.
very true.
I don't know.
My apologies. Yes.
So, I mean, David, we could stay here for another 6 hours chatting away with beastmen and learning various things, but I'd be in favor of getting out while the getting is good. Yes,
I agree.
Okay.
I agree.
So what I was hoping to do then, John, is sort of give a final your wisdom is beyond compare. Thank you for seeing how beneficial this alliance will be to both your peoples. I will go bear the good news to the king, and he will await your messenger. In the meantime, my good lady, I take my leave, and I wish you good luck and good fortune. And he'll plop the mask of Ptoh-Ristus back on his head, as you might put your hat on before leaving the court.
Mm-hmm.
And immediately, but surreptitiously, activate the true seeing.
Okay. Cool. All right. So yeah, you put that back on your head. You, when you place it on your head, all right, you are once again sort of a little bit out of sorts as the effects sort of take place. In addition, you can't help but feel a little bit of more closeness with like a stronger bond with Thoth in general.
She is the font of magic, the giver of words, thrice-born linguist, John.
That's exactly right, yeah. And in addition, there's something like welling up within you, and it's not something that Mort's really used to, and you can't really peg it, but then you realize that what's welling up within you is a sense of anger and hatred, you would almost call it. And you don't know where it's coming from, and you don't know where it's being directed yet. But you feel that Thoth will reveal that mystery to you in time. But it's sort of like unwarranted. You're not really sure, but it's a bad feeling. Like you don't like it. You know what I mean?
Like he's mad at me feeling, or I'm mad at something on his behalf.
Yes,
feeling.
that the latter.
Okay,
exactly that. Yeah. Yeah, you just feel like an unwarranted, not placeable, vague sense of anger that you can't really direct in any way, and so it's very frustrating, you know.
Okay.
But more importantly, you consciously activate the true seeing. Remember, this is something that you have to actually say that you're doing. It's once per day,
yes.
And you do it, and you take a look around. When you do, you see the following. First of all of the tripods that are along the southern, that are arrayed around her bed, are what's the word for it? They radiate as enchanted. Okay, which makes kind of sense because
not surprised.
Yeah, they're not surprised at all. But in addition, out of those, let's see, there are 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 5 tripods. The contents of 3 of them are also enchanted. The golden mead, the purplish liquor that gives off the odor of granite and blackberries, and the 5th one, which is the thin, watery, whitish liquid that smells of mint. Okay. In addition, on Dano, she is wearing a ring. She has a dagger at her side and a large necklace that is bedecked with huge pearls around her. All 3 of those also radiate as enchanted. All of the male slaves radiate as enchanted as well.
Wow.
Count Scleros has a number of items on him that radiate as enchanted. All of your shit, obviously, that is magical, is radiates as enchanted. And then most revealing of all is that you detect a secret door on the southern wall, 10 feet in from the west. There is a secret door.
Okay. Southern wall, 10 feet in. So in the first 10-foot square, or the second 10-foot square?
After 10 feet, like in the middle of the second square, there's
Southern wall, like there.
Yep.
Okay. Interesting.
Okay.
So most importantly, though, does Mother still look like Mother?
Mother still looks like Mother, yes.
Okay, because you had mentioned that she was, I think you called her like taut, stretched out, and we speculated that there was, there's a bug inside there looking for sugar,
Yep, I remember you saying it, but you have for illusion, like so what you automatically detect no matter what with true seeing is that you would detect anything that's enchanted, anything that's invisible, that sort of thing, right? Or anything that's an illusion. None of that's she herself is not pinging any of that sort of stuff, right? In addition, even without consciously activating true seeing, which incorporates all of those things, the natural abilities of the helmet that you're wearing give you that save with a bonus to detect illusions and detect lies, right? Which would be a passive thing. And I'm telling you there as well, that's not even happening either, right? So,
right. Yeah.
So she is as you see her. She is not trying to pull one over on you as far as like her appearance, but she does have a number of enchanted items on her.
Okay. Not a surprise.
Yeah. So she's languidly, Upior finally lifts himself off the bed. She kind of strokes your shoulder a little bit. She's like, don't go. I know you have places to be. I'm sure.
I must. Many apologies, my sweet.
Quick question, John.
Mm-hmm.
The ring that's magic on her finger was her ring or the ring that the Goblin King sent?
Both, her own and the Goblin King's.
So there's two.
Yeah, I was more talking about I was just looking at the one that she had of her own.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I assumed that the one from the Goblin King was also magic. Is it?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Got it. Okay. David?
I mean, I have nothing much to add beyond I bid you adieu. I think that's wise.
One more thing. I will also pay a compliment to Count Scleros for his leadership and his wisdom in his efforts to help us negotiate this. He is a fine asset to your people, my lady, and I am greatly impressed with him.
I truly don't know what I'd do without him. And she smiles warmly at Count Scleros as if at her favorite pet dog.
What is his response to that?
He smiles, and he actually looks more surprised as he whips his head over towards Mort after he says it, and he kind of gives like a tight like military nod. He then bows deeply in front of Mother, and he says, "Mother, until next time," and he kind of gives you like a real obvious like.
Yeah,
back out of the room. Yeah.
Time to go. All right. That was great.
Okay.
That was cool. Okay.
So you back out into the common area, right? So this is the place that's like lividly painted, and that the beastmen generally don't really like for some reason. Like there's evidence that they tried to like paint over it, but the paint was strangely resistant to it. And this is also the room where there is a teleportation circle here, just so you're aware. When you go into the common room, Count Scleros kind of nods at you and looks like he's about to speak, and in walks another what looks to be a high-ranking beastman. Let me actually, I forgot to look to see what his head is, because that's important. Pigman, yes. So he's got a pig head, right? So this beastman. He's got like really full regalia on, just looks just as like decked out as Count Scleros, and he is old though, like visibly old, like a lot of like little warty hairs kind of coming out of his pig face, right? He's one-legged and hops along like really readily, like at a normal pace with a single crutch, like he's been using it forever, like he just is really good at it. And he's wearing black chainmail with silver chasing, which is much different than Count Scleros's. And he has a spear and a short sword. And he kind of comes up and he's like very, very gruff. And he's like, Count, he goes, Scleros, And you see Scleros kind of talks back and he goes, Georgic. And they look at each other like equals, basically. And he says, Mother has commanded me to show them the fungal caverns.
Ooh.
So he's basically like, I don't know if you remember from last time, but like one of your rewards was to be able to sort of like get a, kind of see what those are, and it would tell you how to get to the exit on the cliff face, right? So Georgic tells you that they're not. It's for the game's sake, he's not going to, unless you want to. He's just going to show you sort of where the entrance to the fungal caverns are, and then tell you sort of like how to navigate a little bit. But we're not going to spend a session in the fungal cavern unless you like what you see and you want to go there. Or you could just be like, we don't have time. I need to do something else.
What do you think, David?
I would like to see the entrance, but I do believe we have other plans in the immediate future. But why do you call them fungal caverns, friends?
They are filled. They are filled to the brim, higher than a man's height, full of mushrooms.
Is the air breathable? Is it
Indeed.
noxious?
No, well, unless you disturb some of the spores. We have ways, though.
Well, in the sharing of the entrance, would you mind also noting to us what fungus we might avoid so that we not poison ourselves in the process?
Aye, that's the plan. We'll take you to the
right.
cage. We'll show you the supplies. We'll show you the trails.
Good boy.
Oh, jeez. I'm up for it, David.
Yeah, I mean, I want to see the entrance. I mean, I want to get like the general tour, and then I'd like to fuck off, like we talked about. But yeah,
Yes, we have other things we want to do, but let's not miss the opportunity to get a little mapping on the old mapster.
gotta do it, baby.
It won't be that bad. I promise.
I'm not worried about it. I'm excited.
Scleros, he basically salutes you guys, and he says, "It's been an absolute pleasure. You did well in there. I think she liked you. A little too much, perhaps, but
Thank you for your guidance.
Do I hint? I get a sense of jealousy there.
He says, he tells you that when you approach the compound again, you should probably ask for him. But if you can't find me, you can ask for Georgic, and he indicates Georgic again. And then he also said you can also ask for Count Nikeos as well, who is a goat man. So there are 3 counts. Scleros is basically like the number 1. He basically executes Mother's will. But Nikeos and Georgic are like right underneath him and are also considered to be counts. Okay. You have not met Nikeos yet. I hand you over to the good hands of Count Georgic here. Georgic, these are our guests. Honored guests, I should say. Treat them carefully. I will. And it's right this way, gentlemen.
John, how long does that true seeing last?
True seeing is a high-level cleric spell. No, high-level illusionist spell. Burp.
So it'll last as the spell. It's not different for the helmet or something.
1 round per level, which means I don't have it here.
That's fine. It's not going to last probably long enough to show us the entire route. Like
Probably
I can't
not, no.
like sweeping around.
I will have to nail that down, but yeah, let's just say like you used it for Dano's room and that's it.
Fine.
Okay. So the pig-headed old grizzled warrior kind of takes you forward and he's like, follow me this way. And two other beastmen of lesser rank basically follow behind as well as sort of like an escort. So he takes you back down to the corridor to the south into the training room with the pillars, like the long room with the pillars there.
Yes.
And he takes you into the middle of that hall to the south, and there is an entrance there is a passageway that leads to the south there.
Yep.
Right in the middle of the room, and that goes on for 10 feet, and he knocks briefly on the door just to sort of do it in a way that, like, I'm coming in, but then it goes in, and he goes into this room below.
Oh, there's a door after 10 feet?
Yes, after 10 feet, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then it opens up into a square chamber that is 20 by 20, which will be a little bit odd on your map because of the way that from the east-west direction, but whatever.
Am I coming in the center of the room, you say?
Yeah, you're coming in the center room. Sorry. Yeah. So it's 20 by 20, but you can, yeah, it's fine. You're good. You know what you're doing. All right. So you walk into this room and you can see that it looks to be like a storage room. It's crammed with wooden and stone boxes and loose bits of gear and pillage, apparently. Like lots of foodstuffs. There are 2 casks of what appear to be wine. There's a bunch of dungeoneering equipment like ropes and pythons and hooks, pulleys, grapples, poles, things like that. And there appears to be like a lot of what appears to be treasure here as well, sort of like just put on shelves and lumped into corners and things like that. There's a marble bust of what looks to be a priest of Thoth, a 3-foot diameter lapis and silver symbol of Set, box of octagonal ancient platinum coins, samples of mushrooms, things like that. All like a bunch of crazy shit. There's actually like you see an ion stone is actually like floating a little bit above the ground, just like over a little bit, just sort of sitting there by itself. It's green, this one. So he comes in, he's like, "Pay this no mind. This is the LRCP's storage. They get all the good stuff from their travels in the hall."
Oh, yes. Well, 'twas ever thus.
This way, we're taking the back entrance here through the LRCP's chambers. You're honored. Not many actually see this, beastmen especially.
If I let the whole procession, is anyone moving behind me?
There's 2 people behind you.
Fuck. Okay, so, excuse my language. Sorry. Gosh darn, that's really disappointing.
You know who's got sticky fingers though, and no one
What's
ever
that?
pays attention. Gangrene has sticky fingers, and no one pays attention to him. I mean, I have no control over what Gangrene does. You wouldn't be surprised at all if you found that he just walked by and hoinked it. I mean, he's just a goblin after all.
You could, yeah. You should also be aware too that the every time that the beastmen kind of mention the LRCP or Taltos the Natty, they do so with a sense of reverence and deference.
Yeah, this might be one of those. Let's not do that, David.
I know.
You can.
Listen, as much as I would love to, that green ironstone calls my name in a way that few things do. I'll take it on the way back. I'll take it after mommy turns to xenomorph. You know,
Should we just drop a rug here and come back later? Is it? No, I don't think we have the rugs with us for this mission.
Well, we don't. But yes.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna leave the room unmolested, John.
Okay.
But we thought about it.
He takes you further. There is a passageway leading out of this room directly west in the southwestern portion of the western wall. It's only 5 feet wide, and it goes for 35 feet.
Wait, hold on. So southwestern portion.
Corner of the western wall. There's a 5 foot wide corridor leading out to the west. That goes for 35 feet. Nope, southwestern. Your other west.
Oh, that's the east. So It is. All right. Yep. No problem. I got this. I'm just a little goblin.
So it goes 35 feet to the west before it opens up into another room. And he tells you, and you can actually hear, you can see light flickering from this room, and you can hear the chatter of beastmen in here as well. And you walk into a rectangular chamber. I'll let you finish up your drawing there before I go into the full detail.
I'm having some map problems. So for anyone who's playing bingo tonight,
it's fun. I'm going to continue on with the description, but just catch up as you can. So you go into a chamber, and inside this chamber, there are 9 bunk beds that are ranged against the north and south walls, and there are 4 single beds along the west wall. There's a long trestle table and then another smaller table as well. Next to the door, let's see, there is a door. Yeah, there's a door in the southwest corner, and next to that door, there is a large chest, a stone water barrel, and an equipment stand, and there is on the eastern wall is the insignia of the LRCP, the Long Range Cavern Patrol, otherwise known as the Petory Conturbs, which is the rat the rat company, of a fist holding a torch. Okay.
So how big is the room we're in?
So the room is 30 feet by 15 feet. You are entering in on the northeastern side of the eastern wall. 30 feet east to west. 15 feet north to south.
Okay, and there's a door.
There's a door on the southwestern side of the western wall.
Okay.
Okay. Now, there. So like the general symbol of the Beastmen is like that clenched fist, right? That mailed fist. This one is a fist actually holding a torch. This is the LRCP, and lounging around here is a single bandon of the famed LRCP itself. I don't know if you guys have I guess any movie. I'm thinking of Zero Dark 30, but any movie where there's an elite group of soldiers kind of lounging around versus your average rank and file. They kind of have that look they of cool, a little bit of arrogance, but cool, confident. They're very much at their ease. Their armor is not rigidly put on, but it's just sitting on them in a natural way. They've lived in it a long time. They really know how. It's a little bit dirty, but it's really well taken care of and maintained. And they're just they're veterans. They're real veterans, and they're just sort of lounging about. And there's about 6 of them with a sergeant as well. And so they kind of sleep, and they range in their different kind of head types. There's a whole bunch of different kinds, 6 of them. And they kind of look up through lidded eyes at Georgic and the rest of you guys as you sort of walk in. And there's a little bit of deference to the fact that he's of a higher rank, but you can see he's not really expecting them to sort of stand up and do attention or anything like that, And they're like, Count, what can we do for you? What brings you to the LRCP HQ?
John, are any of them smoking pipe weed through a blowgun or any sort of lethal weapon?
Yeah, very much the platoon scene. Yeah, little Willem Dafoe action. It's very much like that. That's another good scene, right? Yeah.
These are getting the vibes of the tent scene in Full Metal Jacket.
Oh yeah,
I got the 1,000-yard stare. You'll get it too.
Yep, exactly what it is. Yeah. Every military movie has something like that, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, they're like that. This is where the cool guys hang out, right? There's a cool guy club in this room, and he says, "I've been charged with showing these fine folk the entrance to the fungal caverns," and they kind of raise their eyebrows. They're like, "Really? That's a privileged information, Count. Are you sure about that? You got Dano's blessing?" "I do. I wouldn't have brought them here otherwise." And they kind of makes them perk up a little bit, and they make introductions to you guys as well. So they introduce themselves. As you move through, I guess when you move out through the room, so they tell you actually that Taltos himself, the leader of the LRCP, is currently leading one bandit himself to go find the missing bandit of the LRCP, which is headed by a sergeant named Histar. I think I mentioned that a little while ago.
You did.
And the missing bandit. And there is another bandit, which is the last remaining bandit of the LRCP, beside the one that's actually here, that has been sent south across the caverns to the secret exit on the cliff face. All right. So that is basically giving you the general lay. So there are 4 bandit, one here, one that's been sent south across the caverns to the cliff face. Taltos' bandit, which is searching for the missing bandit, right? So there's 4 bandits altogether, right? So you're looking at a strength of the LRCP of around 32 to 33 beastmen. Okay? Or no, I'm sorry, 24 to 26-ish, something like that. Anyways.
All right.
And they greet you warmly and all that kind of stuff.
Squads, that's the main thing.
Yes, exactly, yeah. And they kind of watch you carefully as you. They actually unlock the door in the southwest thing, and they kind of gesture you through with knowing wry grins as you walk through that door there. And they're like, "Best of luck," and you head west out of there, and the corridor is a 5-foot wide corridor. It goes for 30 feet before it turns a corner, a right angle to the south, and It goes for 15 feet to the south before hitting another locked door.
Oop.
Okay.
Sorry.
So there is a steel door at the end of that corridor. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Not steel. A normal door, just locked. And
Which way does it go, John? Which way does it open?
whichever way you want. And he opens up the door, and you see a sight which kind of boggles your mind. You are about to witness one of the great key locations of the halls of Arden Vul that opens up before you. So you open up, and spreading out before you in all directions, except for north, obviously, but east and west, and especially south, is a vast fungal forest in a natural cavern. Massive and huge, going as far as the eye can see. Softly lit by a general orange glow from different patches, what appears to be a type of large, higher than man size type of mushroom that is giving it like an ambient orange glow. And there also appears to be smaller, like phosphorescent mushrooms that are probably in the undergrowth as well, that are much, so there's like a soft, like emanating glow from underneath as well, right? It's quite beautiful. There is definitely like a smell in the air of general like loamy decay. And you're seeing all this through what appears to be a wrought iron cage that is directly in front of you, like an observation cage. So the cage is about 15 feet high, and it is broken by a steel door to the south. So the enclosure that you're in is approximately about 30 feet east to west by 20 feet north to south. And there is a door that's in the southern wall of this enclosure. Okay. And
so 20 by 30, you said?
30 feet east to west, 20 feet north to south. And what's interesting is it looks like the northern face of like, if you turn back around to where you're looking, the northern looks like has the natural stone has actually been smoothed out to be like flat, basically.
Oh.
For at least 10 feet to the west and at least 50 feet to the east. It's like a flat plane. But then like all in front of you.
Cavern? And then it becomes rocky.
And then it kind of becomes cavern. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And Georgic explains to you, he says, this is not beastman work. Both the steel cage and the smoothing here are Kantian work. High quality.
Fascinating.
Now, he points out to you that the steel door they put in, the beastmen put in, they keep it well maintained. The LRCP keeps it well maintained and oiled and locked. They have stacked several boxes of provisions near the door on the northern wall, the one that you came through. Boxes contain dried rations, filled water skins, 6 flasks of oil, a dozen torches. There's also a pail of what appears to be very noxious smelling grayish paste. And he says, you take this, and he kind of puts a finger in and he smells, and he's like, you put this and you put it around your torch, and this will give a smell that will repel the giant centipedes that stalk through the fungal forest. Don't leave home without it. And he points to the south, far away in the distance, through the forest, and he says, you can see there, and he points about 40, 50 feet away. It's a large cliff that bisects the entire caverns from east to west. You're going to need rope to rappel down there. Now, he kind of brings you up towards the door, and he says, now look through here. Now remember, you can see everything because it's just an iron cage, right? And you can see that beyond the door, there's actually a path that has been cut through the mushrooms themselves that leads directly south towards that cliff face. And he says, I know it's hard to see, but you stick to the path, you should be safe. The LRCP travels this way all the time. And when you follow the path to the cliff face, you should find some, I don't know the term because I'm not a professional mountaineer, but there's a hook there where you can hook ropes to and rappel down.
Perfect.
And you just have to climb up the hard way?
Indeed. It's not that hard, though.
What happens to those that don't follow the path, friend?
There's dangers in the caverns. As I said, centipedes. All sorts of strange creatures roaming about. That's why we send the elite. The LRCP are the only ones permitted to go down. The only ones brave or foolish enough to brave it. Now, when you get to the base of the cliff, the path picks up again. You keep going to the south, and you're going to find, I know it sounds strange, friends, a dock, and there's going to be a skiff there. There's a large underground lake. You take the skiff, and you can cross it to the others. There's a dock on the southern side of the lake. Beware the island in the center. All sorts of strange rumors abound in the island in the center. But if you bypass it, you go to the dock, and you on the southern end, and in the southern fungal caverns. It's the Wild West out there, friends. The Wild South, I should say. There's all sorts of strange Archontian ruins there. Strange voices that can be heard, all sorts of strange monsters crawling from the depths, from the caverns into the fungal caverns themselves. But there is a path, and if you find that path, it will lead you all the way out to the cliff face.
Pray tell, friend, the island at the center, do the dead walk? Do you see processions of the lost on this island? Perhaps monoliths dedicated to the other realm?
Well, from what the LRCP has told us, there are piles and piles of skeletons there, rusting metal, some sort of battle happened there. Who knows? But they've heard clicking and clacking as well coming from there, scuttling. Strange shapes moving about the island.
I believe I knew a painter once in a distant land that illustrated such a scene. I must investigate it one day.
It's mostly a rock formation. There's no mushrooms that grow on there. And since what we're looking for mostly are the cloud caps, there's no reason for the LRCP to ever go there. Too dangerous. They're not fools. They don't seek out danger.
The LRCP have to leave the path to find the mushrooms or gather only what grows beside it?
No, they do. They do have to go into the forest itself.
Brave soldiers indeed.
And do they have cartographers of their own that we might speak with? Certainly they have trails they keep to themselves.
The LRCP minds keeps their business to themselves. I don't know the way that they navigate, although they do answer to Dano. And if Dano says that you are friends of the Beastmen, then should you come across into the LRCP in your travels, they should be able to help you.
Very good. David, are you thinking of Hieronymus Bosch for the island, or
Arnold Bockham, the very famous? I'll hold on. I say as if I want to be able to send it to you. There's the Isle of the Dead, which is a very famous Bocklin painting, which is referenced a lot. 1880. It's referenced a lot in various media. It's the very sort of like it's a tuft of trees, sort of like bracketed by rock walls, right? With a boat and a single sort of like shrouded person. Just look about it.
I know this painting.
Okay, so
very famous. You see a lot of like magical realist interpretations of, or just surrealist interpretations of that.
So what do you?
Good analogy. It's perfect. Okay, what do we want to do, David? I think we do not want to explore the caverns right now.
What I personally want to do is get a running jump right off that cliff, but do a swan dive into the lake. But I will not. I think we have a plan that we can stick to for now. Though this is incredibly compelling and unexpected, so I know we'll be back.
Okay, so if you're not going to go down, then that's totally fine. But he gives you the general layout, and that you have access to here now. Like you can actually come this same way and access it. The LRCP will grant you access to it under Dano's orders. Okay,
amazing.
Seems a bit forward to just barge through their bedroom and
Well, you should
head
probably
into
be polite and knock, but yeah.
yes, of course.
So you back out again through the compound. When you get all the way back out to the training hall, Scleros is there again, and he gives you a package, and he says, "This is from Dano," and he says, "You are under no obligation, but because we are so tight-manned right now, if you find yourself in the general area on your travels, she would greatly appreciate it should you deliver this to Thagan Whitemane at the Inn of the Lost." And he gives you a full skin, so it would be one slot, and he tells you that contains the syrupy golden mead. Okay.
We have never been to the Inn of the Lost.
You have not, no.
And it's not in Goblin Town. It's at the Set Market, right?
No, it's not.
It's not at the Set Market? I thought it was near or in the Set Market.
No, it's you haven't really asked about where that happens to be. But
perhaps
you've heard it tell about. So he does tell you that if you do deliver this to Thagan, it is likely that he will treat the AV Club as emissaries of the Beastmen. Like Thagan is not Thagan is not the type of guy that you like just sort of like he's a mysterious figure. He's not like your typical innkeeper. It's rather difficult to get an audience with him, but this will get you an audience with Thagan Whitemane. Like he'll be very appreciative, especially if you say like what the provenance is, like where it's coming from. Okay. All right. So let's say that let's see, we'll start at noon, and we'll say the entire trip back to the common room. The whole thing we'll call it 4 turns. I think that's probably fair. Okay. So
back in the training room.
Right? We're going to put you in the common room. Now, where when you are walking through the training hall back to the common room, there was a door in the middle of the eastern wall of the training hall.
Yeah.
That actually opens up and slams open, and 2 young beastmen, like teenage beastmen, like wearing like page uniforms, sort of kind of come out, and they look like really harried, and they sort of bump into a couple of the escort beastmen, and there's a little bit of a confrontation real quick, and they're like, no time, the envoys require yet another meal, and they hurry off to the north in the direction that you were heading off, and they kind of look over their shoulders with an air of dread, looking in the eastern room.
I see. Dano operates a thriving community of negotiations and ambassadors.
Well, this is Georgia and Scleros, and they kind of look at each other, and they're like, I wouldn't call it exactly thriving, but yes, we do entertain a couple of Varomani envoys from the Troll Thane. And Georgic like sort of mumbles something uncharitable underneath his breath. And Scleros kind of gives him like a glaring look, like, keep your mouth shut.
Hey, David, have you ever met a Varomani?
One time at a dive bar, but
it's just a passing thing. But it's something to note, basically.
Okay.
Okay, we won't get sidetracked.
You can if you want. It's up to you.
That's what I'm asking, David. We could go make an introduction and say hello, and be friendly, and then maybe we have a name or a contact later.
Sure, I'll follow your lead if you'd like to. It sounds alluring to you. Yeah.
I know it's a little off our plans for John. Is it going to throw you for a loop, John?
You do whatever you want to do.
Okay, Mort will say, Count, I would take it as a great honor if you would introduce us to your Varomani guests. Of course, if the negotiations are private, I certainly wouldn't wish to intrude, but I myself have never met a Varomani, and nor have my comrades, and we would be honored to meet your guests if it is pleasing to you.
If they are willing to see you, I don't see any problem with that. Of course, remember that you do not speak for Mother.
Oh, I understand completely. I'm an ambassador of the Goblin King.
This is true. All right. So he knocks on the door, and you hear like a commanding, like, come. And you walk in, and you are in a very large chamber. It is 30 feet east to west by 40 feet north to south. You are entering in 10 feet down from the north wall on the western side. There two huge piles of fur in here, a barrel of water, a table, which you can see that there are some very large, like fist-sized dice on it. There's a cut sausage, 2 tankards, a barrel of beer, and there's a locked wooden chest in here. And you see, lounging around the table, there are 2 what appear to be Varomani. They do not appear to be as refined, quite as refined as the ones that you saw in the Goblin Court. Like their dress isn't quite as fine, and their brows are like a little bit more simian. But they look up at you with like high intelligence as they sort of stand up, and as they stand up, they like tower over you, like they're very tall, like 8-9 feet tall. And they say, "Well, what have we here? A goblin in the Beastman compound, eh?"
Mort will do a deep and courtly bow. And hail and well met to the envoys of the Veromani. I begged of Count Scleros the honor of meeting you. I am Mortis J. Gobliono, and these are my associates. Upior, do you have a tagline, Upior, or Upior the dead sexy, Upior the large, Upior the
best not to see twice.
Upior spooky.
So they say it is a great pleasure to meet you. I am Verve. This is my companion Klug. We are representatives of the great troll Thane Varbolka.
Ah, the troll Thane, of whom we have heard so much, and his name is what?
Varbolka. They tell you, like obviously.
Bolka. Okay, that is a useful bit of information I did not previously have.
So he has they're a little bit like more stooped, like they have a little bit more hunched to their shoulders, and their arms are much more like ape-like, and that they're a little bit out of proportion from their legs, right? Like much, I'm saying in comparison to the 2 Varomani that you saw at the Goblin Halls, right?
Right.
And John, can you spell Varomani for me?
Varomani, Varumani.
Thank you.
And they say, yes, we are representing the Thane's interests here in the Beastman compound.
Yes,
what can we do for you?
Nothing at all. I simply wished to make the honor of your acquaintance, for I had never been personally introduced to any of your fine people.
Are you wearing the mask?
I am wearing the mask.
So,
And my cloth envelope too.
Yeah. So, I think now that when they're looking at the mask, we have to kind of go back. When you enter the room and declare who you are, they look astounded when they see this small creature like wearing this very strange mask, and they when they stand up and they look at you and introduce themselves, one kind of comes over to you and sort of reaches down to sort of touch the helmet. Do you allow them to do that?
Well, I'll back up. If he's like reaching to grab it, I'll obviously back away. If he's reaching out to just touch it, I'll start a little bit and then allow it.
Yeah, so he does, and he's like, and he doesn't try to grab it, but he just goes, fascinating. Is that? And he kind of looks over at Klug, his companion, and he's, I wouldn't presume, and they look a little bit flabbergasted, like they don't really know what to say. Are you adventurers? They look like they can't countenance it.
I am Mortis.
You are envoys. Is this correct?
Envoy of the Goblin King.
Ah, like us, I see. And you can see like they're very on edge, like very, very weirded out. And they're like, well, it is a pleasure. I suppose perhaps in the future we will see you at the court of the Goblin King.
I shall remember your names, Verve and Clug.
And we will certainly remember yours.
Jeez.
What? So, boys, there's a bit of tension in the air. Might we break it? What's on your mind? I will say that out loud. By the way,
Don't mind us. We are being rude. It's just the appearance of your companion there just put us off for a second. It's extraordinary helmet that he's wearing. I've never seen the like.
does it evoke any memories or
it's
whispering?
just a passing. Pay it no mind. Really. We are being rude.
But I love a good story. My name is Upior, by the way. And both of you, fine gentlemen, look to be brimming with knowledge. I, too, know a thing or two. What does it evoke in you? Because I've been wondering the same. He's a strange fellow, isn't he?
You talk about Mort?
I'm talking about Mort. Yeah, I'm saying this out loud, by the way. And for what it's worth, I just want to reinforce that I'm like 6'6" and enormous.
Yeah, but small
I'm very
comparison to
gently
them.
saying this. I'm not trying to intimidate them. I just think it's a good character now. You know?
Yeah, they kind of respond like you're being a little bit rude and presumptuous. Like they're doing their best to sort of like be like the perfect envoys, but something's put them off their footing whenever they saw the mask. So they basically stick to the apologetic tone, and they really won't give up too much more. Like they fear that they've kind of gave away their hand a little bit, that they recognized it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I
was pressing a little bit to see if they would reveal more. Yeah.
Now they're quickly backtracking because they realize that but they are considerably out of sorts. They can't really talk that well, just like I'm not able to talk well right now myself. They make their excuses, but they tell you that they hope to see you either here at the court of the Goblin King, or even better would be and they look at Mort when they say this, to present yourself as you are to the Troll Thane himself, should you have the passports.
As we do, in fact, have passports, and among our many plans in the journeys around Arden Vul, the Troll Thane is chief among them.
It would, of course, be only wise and proper for any adventurer to present themselves to the court of the Troll Thane, where we are, of course, the true rulers of Arden Vul.
So it is said. I look forward to it.
We of course, the Troll Thane and most Varamani, of course, do, of course, appreciate the adventurer traffic that goes through the Arden Vul, for you uncover such wondrous treasures, and you pay us the toll to use the troll list, for which we are ever grateful. They say that we shall, of course, send, but unlike for most adventurers, we do not give the Troll Thane prior warning as to the significance of certain adventurers. We shall certainly do so for your group. When you present yourself to the Troll Thane, he will be ready to receive you with all due respect.
Intriguing.
You do us far too great an honor, Verve and Clug. May the light of comprehension guide your steps.
We shall see you. And they look they glance at you again when you actually say that phrase, and they look at each other again, and they kind of repeat the same thing, but in a hesitant manner, and then they kind of dismiss you.
All right.
I kind of want to poke the beehive a little bit.
I know, right?
John, if I take out a piece of chalk from my bag, just out of curiosity, and upon the ground say, do you by chance know the meaning of this? And I would like to, as best as my memory can recall, with that piece of chalk, jot down the, if I'm pronouncing it right, Rhodophisia glyph that was in the back of that like special chair.
The alien Rhodishra glyph, yeah.
Rhodishra, yeah, glyph. And say, does this look familiar to you at all? I've been puzzling on this for quite some time.
Where did you see this?
Oh, just about the way. Is it familiar to you?
It is. Are you toying with me, mage?
I'm not toying with you, but okay. We can both understand as collectors of wisdom that we might have reticence in both directions. I do not mean to be rude on sharing the things we've found. Is this true?
Yes.
Yes. So I'm simply asking if this is familiar to you, as I have seen it in my adventures scrawled upon a wall, but I suspect it has a grander meaning than where I found it. I take from your tone that is true.
Yes, we are aware of what this glyph is.
What is
and
it?
They look like very like, you know, they're worried. You know what I mean? They're openly looking at you with suspicion.
Okay.
Boy, we really poked the bee after all.
Hey, you said you'd like to, and I did. I see. Well, perhaps when we meet your liege, the Thane, we can discuss this very thing. Deal?
That is up to you. Should you wish to volunteer that knowledge to the Thane, I'm sure he will be greatly interested.
May I ask you one last question, friends?
Yes.
The Thane that he is, ruler of this region, most powerful of all of the Vul's communities, it sounds, yes?
Of who's what? Sorry, I'm
Sorry. I'm being sycophantic. I'm saying this Thane is the most powerful of those who, of the faction leaders is basically what I'm saying. I'm implying.
Yes.
To his representatives, right?
Mm-hmm.
If we were to pay him a favor, do you have any suggestions that might prove that we mean well to him? Anything he sees?
It is likely that the Troll Thane does have some things that he likes, but I don't have that information handy right now.
Yeah, it's okay.
But they would probably be
piles of gold.
It's always good. I'll get that information to you. There's probably likely something that there would be worthwhile, and they would not begrudge you knowing what that would be.
Okay. Yeah, we can loop back on that later. That's the last I need from it, Ted. Do you need anything else?
Yeah. No, I'm good. The Rhodesian glyph. I'd forgotten about the connection with the trolls. That's
they obviously know what it means.
Yeah.
Okay, so before we take our first break here, when you go back out again, Georgic and Scleros ask you, do you wish to exit the compound via the Great Hall, or would you rather exit through into the more dangerous eastern chambers, is the way that they sort of put it. And they indicate the door to the north in the common room.
Oh.
Let's go and do that just to bridge it, Ted. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
For sure.
All right, cool. So let's take our first break, and we will pick it up right after that. We'll be back. Okay, we are back. Bladder's empty, beer's full. Okay, so you are going to be escorted out. Where are we here?
Through the common room, right?
Through the common room, yes. Okay, so they're going to escort you out this way. So there's one more room. This is actually going to indicate that we do have a map discrepancy here. I'm not exactly sure where it happened, but it's not the worst thing possible. But just so you're aware, you walk into another chamber. This chamber is 30 feet east to west by 20 feet north to south, and you're walking in directly in the center of the southern wall.
30 by 20. Okay.
Yeah, so we're about 10 feet too squashed here. But what I suggest, Ted, is that you actually draw in the room itself and then just shorten the hallway to the north.
That's what I was thinking. Great. Okay.
Yeah. Indeed, there is that door that you just erased is in the northwestern side of the northern wall. And there is also another door leading to the west in the southwestern portion of the western wall. And idling in here are about 8 what appear to be old, sort of past their prime veteran troopers, beastmen troopers that are all like sitting here on sleeping pallets. There are some ancient spears and chipped swords here as well. and they're just kind of drinking cold water and exchanging like old war stories, sort of thing here. And they kind of attempt to sort of get up as quickly as they possibly can because they're kind of old, and give proper deference to Count Georgic. But he kind of waves them off, and he tells you that through that door, and he kind of points through that door, you leave Beastman territory. And he tells you that it was only recent. We guard this door, but we almost never use it, except for very recently, where we actually heard and witnessed a couple of adventurers actually passing through those chambers, and we sent a small group to go investigate. Unfortunately, we haven't heard back. So, in your travels, should you hear of what may have become of those beastmen who were investigating, please come back and tell us. Yourselves, you should definitely be careful, because apparently there are dangers untold beyond those doors.
We've seen there's dead beastmen in the squid room, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think
you have a feeling that's not what he's referring to.
Did we see some others, David? Were there some in one of the trapped hallways?
Yep.
Yes, we lost a few in the trap hallways that were fresh bodies that I was assuming were in pursuit of us after we knocked on this door a session prior. And we saw some in the cephalopod room, but I don't think we saw them elsewhere.
So what he's basically doing is he's referring to you guys, but he doesn't realize that they were you, the AV Club.
Right.
Yeah, and that they
I'm not admitting to that, but
yeah, and he's saying
okay.
that that they sent people out to go look, and put two and two together. They did.
That confirms my suspicion. All right, so that's good to confirm. And yes, we will be on the lookout for them if we find them, friend. Do you want us to bring? I hate to say, but if we do not find them alive, would you like us to bring some symbol off of them so that you have, cold as it may be, comfort that you know where they ended up?
No, but any news of their whereabouts would be much appreciated.
I'll keep an eye out. I'll go looking.
Sure. Okay, so
Sure.
he bids you adieu in a gruff manner, and Georgic lets you go. He tells you too that beyond that door you will need light. It's very dark.
I still gave my lantern to Gangrene, which was full at the beginning of last session, so I presume is still fairly full.
Yeah. If there was light in all these beastmen rooms, we'd have turned it off. So
Okay, so you
spark it up.
I have his lantern here. Okay, so that's cool. All right, so you turn on the lantern, and are you going to go the most direct route back to the debouche?
Yeah, go ahead, David.
Before we do, apologies for making you repeat yourself. I was trying to change the light because I was being blinded by the lights in this room. The door to the west is what?
We don't know.
You didn't go through there.
They didn't specify.
No.
Gentlemen, what is this another route into the unknown? I'm going to point at that door.
Oh no, that's where it's more of the compound.
I see. All right. Well, we will see you soon. And yeah, let's go north. I mean, I don't know what it gains us to tell them about the Beastmen, but I was interested in investigating those traps at some point, Ted. Remember, I left the netting and all of that because we didn't have time to look at the corpses. I'm fine with just going straight to the debouche and doing that later, but if now is a good opportunity to get out of the way so we don't think about it in the future, I would do it now, if you're interested at all.
Well, remember that the option is to go play with the fire portal.
Oh, no, that's what I want to do. I'm not trying to take... Okay, let's just go do that now. That's fine.
Yeah.
We can come back for the Beastmen another day.
Okay, so
debouche it is.
You make your way back to the debouche. You will have to pay the tax of your one torch to dissuade the cephalopods. So pay that tax.
Yeah, let me just see here. I have
I do not have
Mort has 2 torches left, so I will mark one off.
Okay.
And there we go. It's marked off.
And it's going to take you another 4 turns to get all the way back to the debouche. So you're going to get to the debouche about 1:20 in the afternoon, at which point you can shut off the lantern. Nothing has really changed in the debouchement. hive of activity, that whole thing. Of course, even before you get there, you goblin patrols are happy to see you, and you go back and all that kind of good stuff. So you return to the safe haven. So back at the debauche. First of all, so in order for Mort to level up, which I know you want to do, you will have to rest. Do you want to rest before you head out to the fire portal?
I think we should, and I'm also going to memorize a couple spells. So let's rest. Let's y'all level up, and then I'll get a list of spells to give to you, John. How about that?
Okay, sounds good.
But I would like to send Gangrene to go buy some more torches and possibly some rope. Yep, I don't have any rope right now.
Okay, so torches are going to be 2. No, what did I say? 1.5 times. So what would that be? That'd be 2.5. So it'd be 2.5 gold for 6 for a bundle.
And rope?
Rope is also going to be 2.5.
So 5 gold I will spend.
Okay. He'll go down to the Goblin Halls to get that for you overnight. And you bed down for the evening while Upior studies. So Mort, leveling you up. This is a massive level. For Mortis J. Gabliano. Let me go bring up Carcass Crawler here. Boom, boom, boom. Yep. Okay. So you are getting up to level 7. Huge.
You bet.
Huge. Okay. So you are going. This is a bracket level, so you move up to the next bracket. So first of all, you're going to roll your hit points, D6.
All right. I roll a 3, and I have no con mod. So I'm now at while I'm wearing this dwarven belt, I am at 26 hit points.
Cool. All right. So your attack bonus increases by a lot. It actually increases by 3. So you have a +5 to attack now. Base.
Yeah.
All right. And your weapon die. This is the first time we've seen. This is the first person who's actually gotten to the 3rd tier of weapon mastery. So you're going to drop back down to your original die, which is a D6. But you're going to be doing 2 of them. So your base damage is now 2d6.
That's great.
And then
I love it. Let's go get a fight.
And then the biggest part is your saving throws go way down. Your saving throws are ridiculous now. 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Straight down the line.
Yeah. So that means that when I'm detecting detecting lies is the one I make the save for, right? Or both of them?
Both of them you do, yeah.
Both of them. So that's versus spells with a +5 modifier?
For the one of them. I think the illusion one. I think that's the one.
I don't have it immediately at hand. I'll look for it. Okay, but basically that means on that one it's I need to beat a 3 to avoid.
Yeah, you can look at it that way, or you can just add 5 to your roll and you still need an 8. But yeah, it's ridiculous. So you are killing it. Did either of the retainers level up?
I think they had already leveled up the previous session, so not the end of last session. No.
Okay. So
Gangrene is close. He's very close.
Yeah, I thought he probably would be. All right. Are you going to switch out any retainers for your next tourney?
Well, I believe, David, are we going to go with our plan we're bringing out Yost, John. I can't wait to get out and go view all the things in the dungeons. Yeah.
Yost is the mostest.
Yost with the most.
And then my pecs dance in opposite ways.
All right. So Yost, but also Elizabeth, is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, correct.
Okay, cool. And then Upior, what are you doing for spells?
There are a bunch, and I'm not going to burden us with too much, but 3 hours a spell. I'm going to do. What do you think, Ted? What's an appropriate amount of time to spend?
For scribing scrolls into your spell book, or
Yeah.
It's 1 PM. If we're gonna just go tomorrow morning to do this stuff, then you've got 8 or 9 hours before you need to even sleep. So yeah.
So I can do 3 spells.
Yeah.
Right. I think it's fair. So I'm gonna do floating disc. I'm gonna do knock. Well, let me say these out loud real quick and just double check before I give you the final confirmation.
Okay.
Knock, floating disc, levitate. I think there's the way to go to start. Yeah. Knock, levitate, floating disc. 2 level 2 spells, 1 level 1 spell.
Okay.
From Isometric spell book comes levitate and knock, and from Cassandra's spellbook. Oh, Cassandra. Remember her? Oh, actually, oh, shit. You know what? I'm not. Oh, that's a toughie. Should I do Cleophalis's look away spell instead of floating disc? No, I'll do floating disc from Cassandra's. That's fine. We'll just start with that.
That's a good one to have for when we go visit the trolls.
No, I'll do that next time. For now, I'll do floating disc in case we need the weight. I think knock for obvious reasons and levitate for obvious reasons. Sound good?
Okay, sounds good. You can easily do that. So those are now in your spell book, and they are from spell books, so they don't disappear from them.
Correct.
All right, so cool. All right, so you wake up in the morning. You got new knowledge, Upior. You're feeling great. If anyone is down a hit point, you gain 1. And Mort is looking every inch. The captain of the legions here, looking like a badass. He's almost topped out. All right. So when you wake up in the morning on the 11th of Gelenios, the people that were in charge of building the Shrine of Lysion are happy to report that the work is basically finished. Yeah, this is, of course, of more import to Matt, who's not here, unfortunately, but today is the day when the shrine actually does finish. So
I can write the check.
Yes, exactly. So we'll take care of that when next time Matt's around, of course. But yeah, it is all done. It is now accessible and can be used fully for divine spell research, experimentation, all that sort of stuff, and anything you'd like to do in that arena. Versania, who is still holed up in the Mort's office, right, recuperating, still has a long time to go. Someone in the comment section was asking about, don't forget about Versania, and I was like, didn't forget about her, but it's still, she has a long way to go before she can actually participate. Okay.
Couple things, David. So we're going to take a rug with us, right?
We're taking one of the rugs. We're going to leave the other in the stash.
Yep. And then the other thing is that Yost, of course, is still wearing one of the paired rings. So we should take the other paired ring with us. Who wants it? Do you want to wear it?
I think Mort should take it. You're more the scout.
Okay.
Unless
so
you disagree.
Mort and Yost have the rings of unity.
Okay. And remember, the rugs each take up a slot.
Yeah, I'll
have
that
one of the rugs. How about that?
You want the rug? Because
I'll take a rug. You take a rug. I mean, it doesn't matter. What do you want to do?
Yost has tons of strength and lots of room, but if you want it,
I just don't want to put it on a retainer. To be honest with you,
fine. Yep,
you know, I would take a rug.
Okay, cool. Yeah. All right.
And John, also, so you know, I'm memorizing levitate, and for a second slot spot. Hold on, I just scrolled the wrong direction. And Ted, I'm gonna ditch the pummeling fist spell, even though it's cool, and take knock just in case something's locked for my other second slot. And
You're
then
a real possibility.
And then for my first, for my first level slots, I can do floating disc for the weight, which I don't think is a bad idea. I have phantom armor, which is very good for defense, and I have marionette, which is crazy. So I'm gonna ditch the armor, take floating disc, keep marionette. I think makes sense. I might die. It's fine. That's what I'm gonna do.
Every spellcaster I've ever played would have kept the armor spell, but
I think the loot help will be nice. Yeah, I think the loot help will be nice. Marionette's also just very powerful, so I want to keep it for now. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Okay, so memorize, John. I have knock, levitate, floating disc, and marionette.
David, before you do that, I mean, I I see what you're saying about the disc. We have our rug.
It's true. I don't really. I mean, that's true. I guess.
Take the armor.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I'll take the armor and not floating test then. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, where were you keeping Barrios, the Beastman prisoner?
Oh, he's
I didn't think about that. What did we talk about him being?
We didn't.
Is he in your office?
No, because that's where Lyta slash no, I've forgotten her name already.
Yeah, but okay, so where's the prisoner?
Yeah. Huh. That's a great question. He's wherever Trefco is. Trefco's keeping an eye on him. So okay. Trefco sits there in the debouchement, hanging out in front of Mort's office, guarding our young friend, and he's sitting next to a beastman who's chained up next to him. Okay. And they tell dad jokes to each other.
Okay, so Trefco tells you in the morning that the prisoner wishes to speak to you.
Oh, yes. Let's go do that.
So you see that the prisoner's been, he's in a lot better shape than he was down in the Goblin Halls. But Barrios, again, this guy's a sheep-headed goat man. He kind of looks up at you in his chains, and he says, I hear that you had the opportunity to take me back, but you didn't. I wish to thank you for that.
I will be honest with you. You were in my mind as a backup if our plans failed, but I preferred not to hand you over. I knew you would not have lived long.
You are men of honor, and I appreciate this. I, of course, desire my own freedom, and I wish to offer you something in exchange for that. Do you wish to hear my offer?
I do wish to hear your offer. Upior, do you wish to hear the offer?
I would love to hear the offer.
Tell us.
There are two things that I desire, besides my freedom, if you are willing to grant it. I can be of service to you, and I would happily present myself to be retained in your service, if you catch my meaning in a D&D sense.
Okay. Yes.
I can fight. I know what I'm doing. Otherwise, I would ask for my freedom, and then I shall travel directly to the arena where I will fight and die with honor. Or I will not be able to ever return to my home again. In exchange, I have, as I've told you, much knowledge about Mother that I suspect the reason I left. And I would be willing to share what I know if you free me.
When he says the arena, does he mean there's some kind of fighting pits or whatever at the Setites have or whatever, right?
Not the Setites.
Where is it? The trolls?
No, it's you don't know. You just heard about the arena.
Oh, okay. I mean, I know I've heard about it, but I thought it was associated with one of the other factions we already knew about.
No.
I think so. We'll sit down.
You don't have to do it now. He's just saying, like, if you grant me, I have knowledge for freedom, is what he's basically asking.
All right, tell you what. Yeah, David, let's keep things on the road here. And this sounds like a full session up before we decide on setting him free or something like that. So I'll respond thusly. That is a fair offer, one which will be considered seriously and with genuine thought. And we will return to you, and we will discuss.
We must confer with our friends. I believe you deserve as much, kind of thing. Right?
Very well. I don't have anything booked in the near future.
You have this magic stone. No, I'm kidding.
Okay, so going back to the fire portal, do you want to? So the way I'm seeing it right now is that your two most direct ways is to simply head east, and travel across the bridge, and do so and go that way, or you could actually teleport to the Hall of Seeing using your new knowledge, and then head east from there and use a stairway directly up, which is right near the fire portal. You could basically hopping between a level.
Why not use the teleportation just to try it out? You know what I mean?
Wait,
Up to you.
teleport to the Hall of Seeing.
That's on the
Plunger
well
Town.
of, it's on the Well of Light level.
Is that the room we've got marked as number 17 on our map?
I have to look at Plunger Town.
Yes.
Oh, great. I am going to write that in here now. The Hall of Seeing. I like that idea, David.
I do like it. I don't recall who has the symbols of thought.
I have one and Yost has one.
Okay, so we have enough to get through that room.
Well, hold on. We might have. Let me
I know we have
look
more,
at
but I don't have one on Ushor. You know, is what I'm saying.
We have. Oh yeah, I don't think we have any extras sitting around in the stash. We've got the Trollthane passports.
Okay, if we have 2, that's enough just to do what we've done before, which is pass them back and forth with some flying.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Is that the way
For
you
the
want to
time
go?
being, I think going to the Hall of Seeing just to like put an ear against the door in Plunger Town and then go up is probably 2 birds with 1 stone. You want to do that?
I do want to go by teleport circle, partly because I don't want to announce to every single goblin that we're heading that direction.
Exactly.
Okay.
So I think we should do that.
All right, so you go into the teleport circle and you put in the correct sequence to get you to the Hall of Seeing. You know, I just assume that you guys know what you're doing now with the teleport ring, so you do so, and you pop into existence. You phase in, I guess, Star Trek style, into the Hall of Seeing. And you've been through here a number of times. You know that you are fairly well secure in here. This is one of the very few secure areas of the Well of Light because it's hidden behind that secret door, right? You know, too, that here, you know, you got the ceiling here, which sort of reflects very realistically what the night sky looks like out in Arden Vul. But there are, more importantly, there are 2 living mosaics here. One looks upon the Hall of Shrines, which I haven't visited in a long time. Looking at that, you don't see any movement at all. And the other one looks right outside the secret door. That one, you also do not see any movement.
Great.
Oh, the temptation. The temptation. We have a rug and there's a ruby throne right there, man.
I don't think it's going to fit on the rug, man.
All right,
I have a giant. I have a belt of giant strength and can lift the
That's true.
I can't believe I'm saying this out loud. It didn't occur to me.
Would it fit through the
I'm going to throw it
door?
out there. We do not need to do this. I'm going to throw it out there.
Could we just go steal it and just drag it?
You could have Yost make you invisible. We could run out there, drop the rug. I could say the word. You could grab the rug, go invisible, and run away. And I would meet you back at base with the ruby throne.
But so first of all, I don't think the throne will fit through the rug.
I just have to hold it. I just hold the throne.
It doesn't actually have to.
I have a giant. It transports the person standing on the rug saying the command word. I have a girdle of giant strength. I can lift the ruby throne like this and go Veritas or whatever the Latin was. By the way, Mithric is Latin. I'm pretty certain. But anyway, and bloop, and then you have to retrieve the rug is the thing, but you can be invisible and retrieve it.
Holy crap!
I never thought of this until this moment, and it's very tempting.
Okay.
Do you want to go invisible and just peek outside the secret door and just see what's in there?
All right, but remember, we were going for the circlet. That's regalia.
No,
dude.
I know. We do not have to do this. This is a classic David tangent. I didn't expect John to say, "Do you want to take the teleporter?" And now I'm thinking about Plunger Town again.
This is like actually one of your better conceived tangents. I have to tell you, this is pretty good,
isn't it?
Pretty good.
Pretty fucking good, dude.
All right, so we're going to take our second break. We will be right back. We'll let them decide. We'll be right back.
Oh.
Okay, we are back. Bladders empty, beers full. What's the plan?
Against my better judgment, I have succumbed to the allure of David. We're going to execute his wacky plan.
Okay.
No.
So what are you doing?
So Yost is going to. He's like, no, I don't want to be blind anymore. I'm not doing it. I want to be the invisible one this time. So Mort says, fine, and turns Yost invisible, and he sits down to hang out with Lisbeth. And then he'll go through the secret door as long as the coast is clear. He'll go out, close the secret door behind him.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a door there. He'll listen at the door. If he doesn't hear any chatter or monkeys or, tortures of the damned going on in that room, he will open the door. And if there's no one in there, then we'll signal to Upior, and we'll go on from there.
You should crack the door only a sliver.
When you listen at the door, first of all, you can hear baboons coming from the west down the corridor, like far away in the darkness. You can hear them hooting and chittering. And when you put your ear to the door, you can hear a lot, like a massive amount of baboons in there.
Mm-hmm. In the throne room or in the hallway?
In the throne room.
Okay.
Garolad, like giving them a speech, or
you do not
exhorting them to war or something crazy?
Nope.
All right, this is not the plan. So he's going to back off. Sorry, David.
No, it's okay. I'm just giving 1 second to think. Just give me 1 second.
He's going to come back into the hallway, close that secret door while you think.
Okay.
All right. So this is. I'm not saying there's no gain to be had here, because something's up, but the Ruby Throne theft is going to have to wait.
I think it is. I'm just giving myself a moment to be creative.
Yeah. I mean, I can think of some spying we could do.
The thing I could do, again, the problem is the retrieval of the rug, and I don't want to lose the rug. But hypothetically, I take the ring, I go invisible, I cast levitate on myself, I go into the air and spider crawl on the ceiling rather than being on the floor, right? Because levitate allows me to go up and down. It doesn't allow me to fly vertically, but I can push off surfaces, or I can just use the surface to move from the ceiling. And I can push down invisible and, command word the thing out. But again, the rug remains is the problem. And the rug is more valuable than the throne. I don't think there's a retrieval mechanism with the rug unless...
I just don't like the idea of you going in there while it's full of monkeys.
Oh, no, I agree.
Yeah. Now, I don't think we should go in there. I'm sorry, David.
We'll wait for now.
We gotta wait. That was a good one. I really liked your idea. I'm sorry, but I don't think it's going to work. If that room was empty, we'd be all in. We could try a diversion.
I know we could,
but that's likely to backfire. I
think
think
we
we
take
should
another break while you decide.
No.
Let's take a quick break. Just take a quick break.
Okay.
Just a quick one.
Okay, we are back. Apparently, they have a plan, so lay it on me.
Hard to say.
Oh, no.
We're poking a beehive.
There's no
All
plan,
right, John.
Okay, we have 28 minutes. Kick it.
I know. Okay, John. Well, damn. Okay, John. While the majority of the party is looking at the tile wall, so they have some movement, and at least Yost perhaps is by the secret door.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
I'm going to put the rug down beneath me. I'm going to say the command word, which is...
Doesn't matter. Go ahead.
And I'm going to teleport back to the rug on the inside of the debouche portal, pyramid. All right.
Okay. Wait, so you only
So
took
I've
one,
just
you only
teleported
took
to
one
the
rug?
inside of the debouche pyramid.
Yeah, we only took one rug.
Okay.
That was the whole
One
point.
rug, one we left within the stash in the pyramid.
Yep.
I'm going to walk out of that. I'm going to walk to the top pyramid. I'm going to hit the plunger. I'm going to plunger to Plunger Town's pyramid. Got it?
Okay. Yep.
When I arrive, is anyone in that room?
No.
Okay. I'm going to go up to room 2 at the juncture where the broken door was, where Treff go first. Or not. I'm going to scream, Garolad, you silly little man, you are weak and you will never triumph over the great strength of Cross and his minions.
Mm-hmm.
As loud as I can. I'm going to wait a second.
Okay. Yeah, you hear baboons responding. coming from all directions.
My army is here, and we will slay you all for once and all. You weakling, I suppose, is what I'll do. Then I'm going to hoof it back to the pyramid as fast as I can. Plunge back to the debouchement. Run back inside. Rug back to the secret door.
Okay, cool.
And
let me just mark off some time here. Let's see. We'll call it a turn for Mort's initial assessment. A turn for planning.
Yep.
Let's see. We'll call it take you about
The turn 40 just did, right?
Yeah. I think 2 turns to like get up there, yell, and then get back. So by the time that you're back up at the secret door, it's about, okay, so we're at like 8:40. Okay, I got it. All right. That's all good.
Right. Okay, so when he pops back into the Hall of Seeing, Mort will make Yost invisible, and Yost will go back to the door to the Ruby Throne Room, and he will listen again at that door.
Okay. He doesn't hear.
There's no baboons in the hallway when he looks at the secret door.
There isn't, but there's definitely evidence that baboons have traversed here very recently.
Like banana peels and feces, or what?
Well, just tracks and shit like that.
Yeah. Don't forget that we have the rest of the party looking at the mosaics as well.
Yeah, he wouldn't step into the hallway if there were any baboons right there.
Okay, yeah. So the rest of the party did see in the mosaics that a large troop of baboons came down the hallway from the west, entered through both of the doors that lead into the throne room, and then closed the doors.
Okay. So when Yost goes out into the hallway, he goes straight up to that door and he will listen.
Okay, he doesn't hear anything in the room.
Okay.
Peek in.
He will signal to Upior. No, he's invisible. He will whisper to Upior, "I'm going in," and he will open the door very slowly and carefully. And if there's any sign of any baboons or anything like Garalad sitting there looking right at him, he's going to close the door and run away.
No, you don't see that, but you do see that there is a crumpled form that is tied to the torture pole in the center of the room.
Oh man, that's weird. I don't know anything about that at all, and I don't want to know. That's strange and mysterious. Is it Darius?
It is.
The hall is also lit by guttering torches like it usually is, so you don't need to use intervision.
Okay, so Yost will, if there's no one in there, Upior should see the door open wide, and that's his cue.
Okay, if there's no one there and the door opens wide, Upior is going to turn the corner, run lateral to the wall, 20 feet, or sneak quietly. I don't need to run. Grab the ruby throne, wearing the girdle of strength, lift it in the air.
If that works, I'll throw the rug down.
That does not work.
Does not move.
It does not move.
Okay.
Ah, crap. All right, abort.
We'll leave.
Rats. Oh, dang.
Yeah, it appears to be completely immovable. Like it does not give it all.
If I take a chisel to the bottom of
No.
Okay, let's leave. We're leaving. We're out. We're done. We tried.
Is that Darius on the post?
No, it's not.
Oh. Is it anyone we recognize?
Well, who's in the room?
Yost. And Yost.
Okay. Do you stop to look?
I mean, it's 20, 30 feet away. Is it visible?
Yeah. So you can see that it appears to be the quite dead and thoroughly tortured form of what it looks to be a Knight of the Azure Shield.
Oh, interesting.
In addition, there is monkey feces like all over the place. It looks like there is evidence that a baboon of some sort was actually sitting in the throne, like hair or something like that was like evident on the throne as well. You don't hear anything coming from the prison cells, but you do hear a lot of baboon activity coming from the south, obviously. Mort, you never entered the room from during this excursion, correct?
Correct. Mort is blind back in the Hall of Seeing.
Okay, cool. All right. So, yeah, that's the deal.
Okay. Run away.
Okay, you back out.
Close the door,
Mm-hmm.
and then open the secret door.
Okay.
And
Fire
back
portal.
in the whole scene, close the secret door, and let's go to the fire portal.
Okay. So, we'll say the investigation of the room took another turn. And then you're going to head directly east with all due haste.
Correct.
Is that right?
Yeah. Sorry that didn't work, David. That was a great plan.
Oh, it's all good. It's actually very good to know that the ruby throne is affixed to the ground.
Not a big surprise, actually, now that I think about it.
But it's good to know.
It's good to know. I wonder if it can be smashed into pieces. And I mean, obviously, we'd prefer it whole, but I'd take 25 rubies as big as my head. That would be an acceptable alternative.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So you move east through the secret halls here. You enter into that chamber where you found those ancient set priests that had been killed. This is where you got like the potion of comprehend languages. But they're all gone and all that. That's all done now. So you move quickly through there, heading east, and now you're going to be entering into the room, the very interesting room that had the statues, the animated things, right? So you have to use your holy symbol trick, which you can certainly do. Don't forget as well that there is that secret door that leads south from there towards places dark and dangerous.
Oh, I've been dying to know, but next time.
Yep.
All right.
You use your trick. You're moving at 90, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So we'll call it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we'll call it 2 turns to move through the passageways, get past the statues using the Thoth symbol, and make your way to the staircase itself. That puts you squarely at 9:10 in the morning. I got to change the lantern light thing situation here. Give me a second. It's going to be right here. Who's carrying the lantern?
Gangrene.
Oh, no, Gangrene's not with us anymore. So I guess
I could have taken it back if you want.
you've got it.
Cooper's lantern. I got it. Okay. You still have a lot of time left on it. It's okay. All right. So, so there's a spiral staircase that goes down very close to that interesting set of rooms, one of which is Yakin the Proud's chambers, one of which is Laryl's chambers, but one more importantly, is the fire portal. So I assume you go straight down the staircase, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So you go down the staircase, actually, what is it? 125. So
Yep.
we'll call that, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. We'll just call it one more turn to go down the stairs. And so that level there, find that room. Okay. Yeah, so you know that it enters into a stairwell and it goes directly south and exits out through a door into like a interchange.
Yes.
Yep.
East.
All right. I say, we go straight to the
portal, straight east.
Okay, yeah, let me just find it here real quick. I got to switch over. Gotta make sure everyone's seeing what they need to be seeing here.
Yeah.
Where it is.
David, am I wrong? Last time we were here, we could not read the writing on the rim. Or did we read
could.
it?
We could.
did.
You couldn't initially because I was out that session, and then on we could.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay, so again, from right here in the hallway towards the east, you can actually feel a little bit of heat coming from that eastern door.
Mm-hmm.
You enter through into the corridor, and the heat is much more intense, and you can actually see the flickering fire coming from underneath the seam of the door further into the room. Do you do anything before you enter the room, or do you go in?
Let's enter.
I think we just enter, yeah.
We're just
Okay.
going.
The room, the pit of fire, again, stands before you. The heat is extremely intense, right? The 20-foot diameter pit of fire that is set right in the center. You can see the red form of the genie writhing within. The pit is rimmed with a 1-foot tall lip of marble, and the fire is leaping up to about a height of about 8 feet in that pit. And you know that the top of the lip around the entire thing is inscribed with mystical symbols. And I believe that, you decide Onweir deciphered them, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it said, the fire of truth cleanses the mind and transports the body of those faithful who proclaim that Thoth rules. I don't know if I pointed this out last time, but it is quite obvious in the middle of the pit, right underneath the genie itself, is a large golden key.
Yeah.
Okay. Easily visible in the center of the pit.
I do remember you mentioning that. I did not touch it because I thought that would be a trap, but we could be wrong. One question before I declare Thoth rules in this pit. Mort is still wearing the mask. Yes, Ted? Don't forget that, John. True Seeing has expired, I assume?
The previous one has. It's a new day.
Do you want to fire it off in this room real quick?
No, I prefer to save that for the room where we hope the circlet is.
Okay.
I think that's the place to use it. But if there's any illusions or anything in here, I would be detecting them.
True. Why don't I jump in the fire and proclaim the Thoth rules? Yes?
Well, yeah.
And do we want to test it somewhere safe first? Somewhere nearby, perhaps? Like the tomb of Yakin the Proud? Just to see that it works? Or do we want to just go for it into the circle?
Yeah, Yakin the Proud. That's a great idea.
Okay.
All right. So you say Thoth rules and step in?
I will step in, and I think he asked me last time after I stepped in, but I'll step in and say Thoth rules and then step in. Sorry.
Yeah, so you say Thoth rules and you step in. So immediately the intense, painful heat dissipates for you only, Upor, and you guys all watch in amazement as Upior steps into the pit. Immediately, the telepathic link bonds with you, and the genie says to you, Thoth values your love. Do you wish to be cleansed or to be transported?
I wish to be transported to the tomb of Yakin the Proud.
Okay. So yeah, you just flat out say it.
Sorry. I know we didn't have a lot of time, John, so I'm just going.
No, it's okay. It's okay. All right. And everything sort of flushes with flame and all that kind of stuff. You're kind of blinded for a second. And then darkness immediately descends, just with the blink of an eye. You blink a little while and you're waiting. You're like, am I blind? What's going on? And then you're in the
sarcophagus.
And your eyes slowly adjust the darkness around you, and you can you're not in the same chamber, but you can't see anything. But you can feel stone underneath your feet. You put your hands out, and you can feel it is resting against a sarcophagus. But you
have the lantern. Don't forget.
Oh, you do have the lantern. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so yes, you are in that room.
Okay, I walk back in and do one of those deet 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 on Mort's shoulders and spook him.
What? How did you do that?
All right, and I will go back to the pit and once again address the genie. Hello, friend. I am back again.
To say that Thoth rules.
Thoth rules. Sorry, Thoth rules.
That's the end of you.
Okay. And it's the genie tells you Thoth values your love. Do you wish to be cleansed?
And there you have the answer. Now,
once per day, I guess.
Once per day at least. Mort, you could still say it.
Yeah, Mort has been through it before. Upior has not. So it might be you get transported once per person.
So here's the thing. If you have the rug on you, you can bring us all into it. So you should take the rug from me, test it into the circlet chamber, and then we can all follow you.
What's the full name of the circlet? It's the Circlet of...
The Iron Circlet of Ghanor.
Okay. Okay, so Mort will step up and proclaim that the thrice-born linguist and font of magic, Thoth the Mighty, rules, and step into the fire.
Okay, the heat dissipates and you're able to step in. And he says, Thoth values your love. Do you wish to be cleansed or to be transported?
Okay, I've got the rug with me, and I say, "Oh, genie, take me to the chamber that contains the Iron Circlet of Ghanor."
Okay. All right. Hold on one second.
Ted, while John's looking it up, let's say that you give me a Morse code signal to Yost with the ring, perhaps, to say it worked, because we got to run back to the debouchement for the other rug if we're doing it this way.
Okay, so Mort,
Ooh,
you wink out of existence, and you find yourself in a very small chamber. It's only 10 feet east to west by 20 feet north to south. In the middle of that chamber, there is a very simple, unremarkable granite sarcophagus. Okay, the walls, the chamber is only 8 feet tall, so it's actually a little bit cramped, and they're painted with a dark hue of blue. And there are many, many mystical symbols all over it. Moons, stars, hermetic symbols, knots, that sort of stuff is all kind of painted in the hue. You have to actually watch where you step, because surrounding the sarcophagus in this very small chamber it's crowded with grave goods. There are delicate gilt chairs. There's a gilt settee. There's several ankhs on the ends of 10-foot poles. There's a 10-foot diameter net that's made out of gold mesh, and there's a variety of alabaster and jet canopic jars kind of standing all around. There are a few bits of crumpled parchment that have been tossed into the corners that you can't really make out. But other than that, you can see that directly in front of you on the eastern wall, there is a slight shimmering in the air. Make a saving throw at +5 for his spells.
Wow. It's a good thing I'm a level 7 goblin, because I got a 9, John.
But that'll do it.
+5.
You can see easily that that the mask of Ptoh-Ristus pierces through the illusion that is the entire eastern wall, and you're looking into a slightly larger chamber that is square, 20 foot by 20 foot, and there is a grand sarcophagus in the middle of that room. Okay. It's 10 feet tall. It's larger, and the walls are brightly plastered and painted with pleasant pastoral scenes of men and women fishing, hawking, and hunting. All right. The huge sarcophagus is on top. It's a large basalt sarcophagus, 6 feet long. It's resting on top of a 2-foot dais, 2-foot high dais. And you can see that the long sides of this grand sarcophagus are there's mythic phrases on them. Once again, this is in the room that's through the illusion that you were in.
Yeah.
John, while he's doing this, can we hoof it back to the pyramid, going westward from the fire pit room, then across the bridge over the chasm, and then south through the central debouche and down to the stash, just so I can be there to help read the mythic and save us that?
You can, but that's now you're adventuring again. That's the point, is David can't come through.
I can't come through to him. If it's not a group teleport, then I can't join him.
Right. So if the three of them go back to the pyramid and get on the rug, they can come straight to me.
You can come through the rug to him. That's the idea.
Right. Understood. I'm just saying that that you don't just magically appear there.
No, I understand. I'm willing to make the random roll risks. If we literally run, we double our speed and take the risk.
Okay.
It's all of us but Mort, right?
Mort is going to he's aware it's going to take some time. So he's going to carefully step around things. He's going to look, and kind of see what's there, look around. Obviously, there must be an exit out of here somewhere.
Well, there's the exit through the illusory wall.
Right.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
No, I thought there'd be a door or a secret door out of here somewhere. So
you're in the real sarcophagus room, and you're looking in at the faux sarcophagus room through the illusory wall. You're in the real one already on the other side of the secret door.
I'm aware that there are two sides and two sarcophagus and two sets of grave goods and whatever. What I want to know is, are there any real doors anywhere?
I'm just saying you would have to kind of step through the illusion to sort of kind of get more of a gander.
Okay. So what you're saying, David, is you think I was taken straight to the circlet, and that I'm on the other.
You said bring me to the chamber which holds
Yeah.
the Iron Circlet of Ghanor.
Right.
Which is the
So I came
correct.
straight through the illusion. Yeah. Okay.
You've moved to the destination you want to be in. You're backtracking from that point.
Okay.
That's
you're
the only
right.
reason
I
I'm
don't
trying
wanna
to
go
rush
through the
you
illusion.
joining you is I don't want you to get attacked by a ghoul solo, which is why I was saying don't do anything until we join you, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
right?
No. I'm just okay.
Yeah.
So the room that I'm in, with the grave goods and the dark blue walls with the mystic symbols, I'm going to search the room, but not mess around with anything.
Yeah, do what you want. Yeah.
Okay.
Although first I'm going to lay the rug out.
Lay the rug out for sure. And we all teleported into his pocket.
It's dark in
Okay,
here.
so it's very quiet in here, very very dusty. You're surrounded by treasure, of crazy amounts of stuff here, right? And there's just this unremarkable granite sarcophagus in the middle of the room. If you're taking a turn to sift through everything carefully, you do find that there is a crumpled bit of parchment that appears to be whole. However, it is written in Mithric.
All right. I will roll it up carefully and put it in my pocket.
Okay. Okay, give me a second here. Gotta check 151. And
Oh yeah, page 151. Should I be marking that?
no.
Oh, you're not joking. I thought you were being. I thought you were making a spoiler joke. You're talking about for loot. Yeah.
Okay, so David, so are you bringing the rest of the party with you?
The idea is the whole party and all of us will run to the east, go through the Shrine of Lysion that just got completed, because I'm assuming that'll be safe. The risk I'm taking is I'm hoping we won't run into anything in the room where the chasm bridge is, because
you
immediately south of that is the shrine.
Yeah, so when you enter into the large room with the bridge, you do hear a mechanized buzzing coming from deep within the chasm right underneath the bridge.
Interesting.
And more.
I am going. Yeah. to which I'm going to respond by. Okay, is there light emanating from the Shrine of Lysion or any natural light in this room?
I think, actually, David, I think maybe we rebuilt that wall.
Oh, I see. So I can get. Oh, you're right. And I would still have to go to the brass doors. I hear you. Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
Quite all right. I will just. You know what? Let's make this easy.
The buzzing is probably Kerbal Khan's drone.
It is unlit in here. It is dark.
Okay. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have Elizabeth cast Obscuring Mist around the whole party, which gives us 60 feet of obfuscation, and have us as slowly and quietly as we can. I'll get to the front of the bridge, and then I'll turn the light so it's off, and have us proceed across the bridge through the mist, or with the mist following each other.
Okay, cool. So as you cross over the bridge, you can hear some sort of that buzzing get louder. And something kind of rises up out of the. You can see the mist sort of blow a little bit, but you can make out some sort of flying shape in the mist. But then it sort of heads off towards the east, and you can't make it out because you're in the mist.
Quite all right.
But you make it across, and you're going to make your way all the way back.
Yep.
Okay. So we'll call it. But you're booking it. So
yeah, I'm sprinting once we're in safety. Yeah.
I'm going to call it 2 turns because you had to stop and be careful crossing the bridge and cast a spell and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. So then you go to the pyramid, get plunge down into the stash, get on the rug, transport yourself with Mort, right?
Yes.
Is it just you or is the entire party going?
Me, Elizabeth, and Yost,
Okay,
and the
so
other. We left Njal and who's guarding the other rug? It was Njal and
Sam
are watching the rug on the other side.
Okay, got it. Okay. All right. So Mort, they pop into existence, kind of giving you a little bit of a scare. It's deathly quiet.
Hey, buddy, good job. I give more a pat on the back that's stronger than I mean to. It's kind of like a dust off his shoulder situation.
So we're kind of at quitting time, but if you want to do like one thing or something like that, you can do that.
Well,
Open the sarcophagus.
Yes,
Let's do it.
I do.
Yeah, let's push it up. I'll use the girdle of giant strength to go up to the sarcophagus. You said the Mithril is in the other room, not in here, right, John?
Oh, this room is full of
Mithril.
No.
Oh, just mystic symbols.
So there's
the parchment I picked up is in Mithril. I'll show you later.
So the parchment is in Mithril, but the large sarcophagus that is outside this room in the larger chamber has Mithril written.
Not worrying about that right now. I'm going to go to the sarcophagus in front of me. I'm going to lift the lid up with my girdle of giant strength.
Okay.
Well, I think you and Yost should do it together.
Both of us can do it. Like, yeah, of course.
Indy and Sula,
Oh, of course.
I mean, come on.
The only reason I did it myself is I want Yost to be free to attack anything that jumps out. Yeah.
Okay, so when you lift off the granite sarcophagus and it cracks onto the ground, it breaks into pieces, a large form, bursts out and up into the air. And it's basically like Mum Ra, right? Like it bursts up and out, and it's like floating in the air, a humanoid form wrapped in rags, and the rags are all sort of like out in the air and blowing around. Dark black but blazing eyes look out of a feminine, lich-like face, drawn. Her hair is all around her, like in a cloud of wind, basically all around, and she's like glaring forth, and you can see upon her brow is a black iron circlet with a huge black opal in the center, which is blazing forth with power as she rises up, and she goes, "Who dares disturb my rest?" And we'll leave it right there. You also hear from beyond the room that you're in. You hear 3 other bangs, large bangs of stone from outside.
Nice
as well. Yeah. So we'll leave it there, and we'll see how you fare against Neferet.
We did it again, David.
The high priest.
Hey, baby! I had a very high sense that was probably what was going to happen, but you never know, baby.
Well, next time, if we have more members, they will pop into existence to help you. So we'll see. We'll see what you do. Maybe you can talk your way out of this one. We'll see.
I will do my best to do exactly that.
All right, we will leave it there.
Oh my God!
Very fun. Right. Thanks, everyone, for watching. You've been watching 3D6 Down the Line, the most criminally underwatched actual play series on the internet. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and pass along the word. Hit the bell icon to get all the notifications whenever we publish new material. Sign up for a Patreon. Give us a hand. Show your support. It helps keeps us going. And join our public Discord. Lots of fun discussions going on there all the time. And thank you, as always, to all of our Patreon supporters, explorers, delvers, and especially conquerors. Ted, who are the conquerors?
I'm gonna do a much better job this time, I promise you. All right. Conquerors, thank you very much to Mercury 605, Ruben D. Caller, Dave Rosser Jr., Andrew, Hannes Bergkammerer, Dakota Nielsen, Horace of Oz, Cam, Stephen Q, Brad and Aiden, the Logan family, Kabrowskis, Declan Koneski, Chad Cartier, Magic Meat Machine, Tom Leary, Phil, G Tokyo Time, Terry Barney, Eric Lawson, Mando NZ, Faisal, James Doig, Nefarious Gamer, Grunt, Andrew Schroker, MM, Michael Schilling, Stefano Di Maiolo, the Hexbrawler Twins, Summon Toast, Adam the DM, Jib Cutter, Scott Yearsley, MechJack, Kickmaniac, Dire Grew, Not Matt, but not least, and the Matts, Matt Mason, Matt Gardner, Matt Koenig, and Matt Young. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks so much, everyone, for your support. We really
Guys.
appreciate it. And everyone have a great week, and we will see you next time. Take care, everybody. Bye.
Thanks, John.